Hello everyone. I'm very happy to be here with talking with you about the green living. And this is my group member. Here is Peter and here is Samuel. And today the reason why we want to talk about the green living is that we are really curious about Americans' attitude towards the green living. So the first part it will be introduced by me, which is mainly the conclusion from the interview, and then Samuel will introduce us some household ways of green living, and at last, then Peter will introduce some transportation ways of green living. So let's now start with my part. Actually, the interview with Americans the day before yesterday really shocked me because it is quite contrary to what I previously thought about. Firstly, I asked them, do you have any innovative way of environmental friendly lifestyle? Their answer is no. Quite usual. They say, no, no, not so usual. I'm just walking, taking public transportation. I drive less, and I use recycling. No more. I say, any more innovative things? Oh, I believe so. No, no, not really. Okay, so then I asked them, so if you are not leading a very innovative way of green living, so whom do you think is responsible for the green living? The government or the individual? They gave me an unanimous answer, that is the government. And I asked them, why don't you think you want to assume the responsibility? He says, because the individual's power is so small. And okay, so I then asked them, what do you believe to be the ratio, to be the responsibilities between the government and individual that will be very effective in protecting the environment? And they taught me that in different areas that would be very different. Because for some household matters, just like garbage, just like some dealing with garbages, that the responsibility will rely more on individuals, while the cleaning air and the plant system will be more responsible for, obligation will be taken by the government. So I then asked them, do you believe in the status quo of the severe the very poor condition of the environmental problem? Is the environmental problem very great, exaggerated by the politician and businessmen with some purposes to make money or gain popularities? And both three says that, no, we do not believe in politicians and we do not believe in businessmen, because they are using the environmental issues to gain popularities. And but one says that it is okay that they exaggerated it, because when some politician advocating on some very serious environmental problem, even it is not true, he will have some followers, and the environment will be better as a consequence. So it may have some positive impact on the society. And I asked them, what do you believe to be the real condition? How much percent of the politicians said was true? And they say that it is only 10%. And then the left 90% is fake, which really surprised me. Okay, so, and I asked them, so what do you believe in the future technology? We have seen in the Wilson Center a lot of solar cars and the other hybrid-powered car and the fuel cell car. I asked them, do you think it's practical? They are really pessimistic. They say, no, it is not viable. It cannot never put into mass production because its efficiency is too low, and it costs a lot of money. And yeah, and they simply think that it cannot be put into mass production. So one thing that is noticeable, which inspires me most, is that they think that some future technology will include some nuclear power vehicles and some wind power vehicles, which just really give me some new ideas. I believe that the nuclear energy and wind power energy will be very potential in the future. So my conclusion of the interview would be that it's not really that Americans are apathetic or pessimistic about the environmental issues, because individuals really cannot do something very innovative or very different ways. We just do very small things to protect in our environment in our daily life. So individuals will gather into a group, so it may have a very great impact on the society. Yes. So then Samuel will introduce us the household green living ways. He will especially introduce the organic food.
Thank you, Samuel. I'm now gonna tell you guys something about green living at home, since food is quite essential at home. And why don't we start with food, organic food, I mean. During the interview, we asked them, do you eat organic food at home? And they admitted that they never buy organic food since it's too expensive, and they do not know why they pay the extra money. So here comes the point. What is organic food? Some critics of organic farming question that organic farming requires more land to produce the same amount of food as conventional farming. At the same time, they think organic farms could potentially destroy the rainforest and wipe out many ecosystems. However, the truth found at last is just the opposite. Organic food do not consume or release synthetic pesticides into the environment, some of which may have potential to harm soil, water, and terrestrial wildlife. Organic farms also are better than conventional farms at sustaining diverse ecosystems, which means to keep the population of plants and insects stable in some region. And also, when calculated either per unit area or per unit yield, organic farms use less energy and produce less waste such as packages for chemicals. So in that case, I think you know better about organic food now, and it's not only good for your health to take organic food, but also for the environment as well, I think. Next, I want to tell something about green living household appliance. Now, let's start with refrigerator, which is a bad example for green living, because it is supplied by Folio, and it will release carbon dioxide, which is the main factor of the global warming nowadays, and also the fact of El Niño phenomenon. So, and also in the interview, we asked them about do you have any green appliance at home? And they were quite confused about the green word. Does it mean that they have a green logo on a product? Product, it means that it's green, or it's something else. So after the survey, we have a group discussion, and here comes our understanding of green appliance. First, the running source of it must be clean, like solar energy, and like a solar water heater now is widely used over the world. But just as Chen Yu had mentioned, the percentage of usage is quite low nowadays. It may be probably 30 to 40%, and they need improvement. Second, it cannot definitely release waste gas. I do not explain this, okay? And the third one is the most important. It must be recyclable. What does recyclable mean? Suggest that suppose that the appliance breaks down 10 years later, and people can disassemble it into separate parts, and then other people can use the separate parts to do another thing. So I think it's a perfect way to solve the material problem or the recycle problem. So that's all for my part, and let's welcome Peter to continue what he found in green transportation.
Thank you, Samuel. Now I'd like to talk to you about the green living in transportation. First, I would like to talk to you about the form of transport. On campus, the students in the University of Michigan usually travels by bus because the blue bus here is free and it is really convenient. That is quite different from students in SJTU because students in SJTU usually ride a bicycle to school. And the American also think that bike is an environmentally friendly friendly transportation, but because of the cold weather here in Ann Arbor, it usually snows and the road condition is not such good, and in the snowy road, and it usually leads to a crash. But at home, the Americans usually drove their cars because it is much more convenient, and I don't think it's kind of a green living. Next, I'd like to talk to you about green cars. Since we have seen the green cars the solar cars, the solar cars in the Wilson Center a few days ago, and at the auto show, we also have seen the solar cars made by the students of University of Michigan. And I think it is really an incredible job. But it's also really, really expensive. The solar car in 2009 cost about $2 million in all. And the solar car is also not really inefficient. And the transfer rate of the solar power is only about 20% to 30%. And that means the car can only accelerate to about 50 kilometers per hour. And because of the expensive price, it cannot be into mass production also. During our interview, an interviewee also gives us an interesting idea, the nuclear car. She thinks it is no pollution and it does not need to be refueled for about 20 years or even longer. But I think it is really a crazy idea because it is too dangerous. You can imagine when there is a traffic accident, two nuclear cars, they crash and boom. So there is still a lot of things for us to do for green cars, especially we engineers. Green living is really a meaningful topic, and Chen Yu talks to you about Americans' opinions towards green living, and Samuel talks to you about the household appliance, and I talk about the green living in transportation. And thanks for your listening.
So here comes the question time. So ask us freely if you have anything curious about our content. So